besides, excuse me, the Mark Chilton winner, we will also have Oglesby at state for the first time in program history. Pretty cool. To me, it's always cool whenever a team makes history in that way. I can remember back in 2019 when Blum did it for the first time. So, sixmanfootball.com, however, has installed Benjamin as a 41-point favorite for the state game over Oglesby. But to that, I would say, Oglesby is undefeated. They have won 10 of their 13 wins by the mercy rule. Picked up an impressive win over, a historically, tough Richland Springs team last week.
Mm-hmm.
So what will Oglesby need to do to ensure that this moment is not too big for them? That the stage is not too big. What do you think?
That's a big challenge. I think that to me, Oglesby became the team of destiny back earlier in the year when DJ was the only one that picked him to beat May, right?
Yeah.
Right. So DJ picked him to beat May, and she got that one.
Then she went against him later on, though. I think she learned her lesson, though. She's riding the Oglesby train now.
All right. Oglesby proved me and Bryce wrong. So let's see, and Richland Springs, like I was talking with Coach Hoffman the other night about this Oglesby team, and Richland Springs is a lot like Mart in their division. They're traditional power that's there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So for Oglesby to beat them, I have no idea how you take a bunch of kids from Oglesby, Texas to Jerryworld and walk out on the field in a state championship game for the first time. And, it's kind of like there you go. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. They're going to walk into Jerryworld and they're going to be like, Oglesby. And Jim Dixon's going to be like, hey, that field's 80 yards, just like it's back in Oglesby.
He's going to take a tape measure from the goalpost. And...
oh, man. Anytime we can reference Hoosiers, I am down.
Drunk Dennis Hopper will wander out on the field.
Good stuff. DJ, what do you think? I mean, what does Oglesby have to do to maybe win one more?
I really do think it's just to keep doing what they're doing and doing it well. I mean, we talk about it with every team. It's just, limiting your mistakes and limiting, I guess, that be excited, but remember, you're still trying to win a title. And they've played a lot of really good teams that played really deep into the season. I think, I remember talking to Matt Rogers at MCH and how they probably gave Oglesby their first challenge of the season early on. And the Tigers came out the winners, but, they went on and played some other really difficult teams. I think Calvert was a game where it got as, pretty close up and up until Richland. I think the Richland Springs game was the game where they allowed the most points this season. So yeah, I just think if they stay true to what they're doing, they should come out all right. I think it's pretty cool that they're in this. Obviously I don't do a lot of 6-man football throughout the year. And when I was at Jonesboro last weekend, I was trying so hard to keep up with the yardage because it's, the field is shorter. They got the little markers, and I had the Gordon coach in the booth next to me, and they were already up 35-0, and he was still yelling at the field. And I'm like, dude, I can't hear the PA speaker over you. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of algebra you have to do when you're covering a 6-man game.
Yeah, I talked about it earlier in the year, I think, on the podcast. The first non-midway game I did this year was a 6-man game between Live Oak and Vanguard. And I have covered enough 6-man games over the years that I go in with the mindset of, okay, it's 1st and 15. It's, these different rules, 80-yard field. All of that was in my head. But then you as DJ said, you start, figuring up stats and things like that. And the thing that sort of threw me for a second was, oh yeah, the 40-yard line is midfield. They crossed that 40, and I started to want to write 43. And no, that's the 37-yard line. So yes, there are some tweaks there, but I'm really excited for Jeb Dixon's team. Of course, we'll have a story on them, as they go to state next week, but be cool for to see how they do. And I would say, one way they keep the moment from being too big is get the ball to Kyler Fawcett. That guy has a good chance to be our 6-man player of the year. He's had an incredible year. I want to say he had about 5 or 6 more touchdowns against Richland Springs last week. So yeah. And shout out to Ken Surrey and Rod Alot for driving out to Dublin and covering that game. So that was good. Got some good Oglesby coverage.